Hello everyone. Welcome to this channel and this video now. So in this video I will explain the working of a circuit called as a ring modulator, which is basically used to generate a double sideband suppressed carrier signal. That means this modulator will produce a modulated output and produces only the two sidebands, the upper sideband and lower sideband, and it actually suppresses the carrier. That means it removes the carrier from the output signal or output component. Now how exactly it works you will understand by using this circuit diagram. Now in this circuit diagram we are giving two signals. For any modulator, of course, we have to apply two signals. The one is the message signal or modulating signal, and the other one is carrier signal. So here, this RF carrier wave is applied through a center tap portion of the transformers T1 and T2. And this audio frequency or modulating signal, say X of t or maybe M of t, whatever the notation you want to use, no problem. This message signal is applied through a transformer T1 into the circuit. Now here, the circuit is actually called as a ring modulator because I'll be using some 4 diodes D1 to D4, and they are actually connected in the form of a ring. They are connected in the form of a ring. Okay, so that's why this is called a ring modulator. Okay, now in the output of this we are using some capacitor and inductor filter, or you can say a tuning circuit, which is basically tuned to the carrier frequency, and it allows only the two sidebands and all the other components will be eliminated. So I will explain that by using some expressions a little later. Now what I'm going to explain in this video is, I will explain the working of this particular circuit in the absence of the message signal. That means if I apply only the carrier signal, okay, how this will be eliminated, and in the output, SB-SC output, whether that carrier appears or doesn't appear. If it doesn't appear, what is the reason? That we will understand, and then I'll explain along with the message signal how the modulation happens. Okay. Now, so how the carrier is suppressed, that we will understand first. Now, so I have used the same circuit. I will explain considering the positive half cycle and the negative half cycle of the carrier. So initially, assuming that there is a positive half cycle of the carrier, a high frequency carrier signal, during that time, how this circuit behaves, how this circuit acts, that we will understand. Now, when the carrier signal is applied through this particular path, the current actually flows in this direction, the positive current, and positive current flows in this direction. That means the diode D1 and D2 will conduct. Okay. Now the diode D3 and D4, which are connected, cross-connected, something like this. These two diodes will act like a open switch. So what I can say that the current actually flows in this direction towards this. Current flows in this direction towards this, and equal current actually flows, but they flow in the opposite direction. That means net what I can say is we get a zero output. Okay. The primary currents are equal, but they are opposite in sign or polarity. So that's why the carrier actually is rejected during the positive half cycle. Now during the negative half cycle, what happens? This is the connection. Now the diode, because the current actually flows now in this direction. Now, so these diodes, say this one, this D3 and diode D4, these two diodes will conduct during this time, and D1 and D2 act like an open switch. So because of that, they are connected, interconnected, cross-connected, something like this. Again, see the current here. The current actually flows in the opposite direction, but equal in magnitude. So that's why the output will be zero. So I can say that the carrier will never appear in the output of the DSP-SC modulator. The cancellation of the carrier or suppression of the carrier happens in this way. Now, we will assume now that along with the carrier signal, the message signal is also present. Both signals are applied to the modulator. So in this case, how the modulation happens, and anyway the carrier will be rejected as you are understood now. So in this case, during the positive half cycle of the message signal, what happens? So this will be plus. Okay, with this particular polarity, the signals are actually applied to the secondary. Now in this case, this is plus, even though some slight mistake is there. So this is plus, minus, this is minus, and this is plus. So if this is the polarity with which we are applying the signals to the circuit, now again the diode D1 and D2 will conduct. They act like a short circuit, and diode D3 and D4 act like an open switch. That means the transformer T1 is connected to transformer T2 directly, something like this. It is connected directly, something like this. Assuming that the diode is a perfect diode, ideal diode. So in this case, both signals are applied to the secondary of the transformer, and we get an output. Now during the negative half cycle of the signal, during negative half cycle of the message signal, what happens? That we'll understand now. Okay, so during this portion of the signal, now what happens actually here is again the diode D1 and D2 act like a open switch. This and this will be short circuited. D3 and D4 will conduct, and because of that, the transformer the T1 is connected to transformer T2 in a opposite direction. That is cross connection. So because of that, the phase of the signal actually will change when I observe the signal in the output of this modulator. Okay, the phase of the signal with respect to the original carrier will be different. So if I show you that with a so these things I explained already to you by using a waveform. If I explain this, just look at this. So this is the message signal. This is the high frequency carrier. In this case, I have considered a square wave as a carrier. Okay. Now, so during the positive half cycle of the message signal, what happens? If this is plus, we get a positive amplitude over there. Now just look at this, we get a carrier signal but with a varying amplitude, because here the multiplication of this message signal with a carrier, this is what actually happening. That is m of t or maybe x of t, whatever, is actually multiplied with the c of t, and we get this particular signal. As you know that the DSP SCC signal is generated by using simple product modulator. So in this case I am using a ring modulator which is working like a product modulator. Now if this is the positive voltage and if the carrier is having a -1, let us say normalized amplitude of -1, in that case what happens? Plus and minus, it is minus. But during the negative half cycle, because of the cross connection, I said the carrier phase will be different. It is a 180 degree out of phase. That's what actually happens. Now just look at this. So if this is positive, during the same instant of time, I have a negative voltage. If this is negative, I have a positive voltage. So what is happening here is, if I consider this is negative voltage multiplied with a positive voltage, the output will be negative, right? That means it's a simple multiplication of what is happening here, correct? So the multiplier always produces a double sideband suppressed carrier signal. Now this is another representation of the waveform where during this portion, that is positive half cycle, as I explained earlier, diode D1 and D2 will conduct, okay, and during the negative half cycle, diode D3 and D4 will act like a on switch or short circuited. Now we will analyze the working of this ring modulator both in the time domain as well as in the frequency domain, and how exactly we get only the spectrum of the carrier signal, that is only two sidebands, lower sideband and upper sideband, and how other harmonics, higher order harmonics are also all rejected. Okay, so as I explained earlier, the positive half cycle of the carrier and message signal is multiplied by +1, negative half cycle of the carrier x of t, that is message signal is multiplied by -1, so we get a product of the two components. Okay, so this is equivalent to this equation, that's all. That is s of t is nothing but, okay, in the time domain it is c of t multiplied by m of t. Okay, what is C of t? The C of t is a carrier, and in my case I have considered the carrier as a square wave. Okay, but the C of t is actually either plus or minus 1. Now fine, so if C of t is having a +1 and -1 voltage with say overall time interval of t0, okay, and if I take a Fourier series to this particular C of t, the carrier signal, I can represent that by using a Fourier series expansion using this particular formula, that is 4 by pi summation n goes from 1 to infinity minus 1 to the power n minus 1 divided by 2n minus 1 into cos 2 pi f ct into 2n minus 1. Okay, so this is a Fourier series expansion of this particular signal. So if I substitute that in this equation, so s of t is nothing but it is 4 by pi, the same term c of t multiplied by m of t. Okay, now what I will do is I will consider a few values of that c of t. Okay, I'll substitute that in the equation of the Fourier series expansion. So what I'll get for n equal to 1, I will get it is cos omega ct with a common factor of 4 by pi, that's the magnitude. Okay, for n equal to 2, if I substitute in the previous equation, I will get 1 by 3 cos 3 omega ct, or 1 by 3 cos 2 pi 3 fct, I can say. Okay, plus 1 by pi, this is for n equal to 3, 1 by 5 cos of 5 omega ct, and so on. You just go on substituting the values of n up to infinity, we get a harmonic components over here. Okay, so that is s of t is given by what? Then this particular component multiplied by the m of t. So this will give you the signal s of t, the modulated signal s of t. So what I will do is now I will consider only the first part and second part for n equal to 2, that is 1 by 5 cos of 5 omega ct. I did not consider in my equation. So I take a Fourier transform to this. I'll go to the frequency domain. So how I can write this? It is 4 by pi m of t cos omega ct minus 4 by 3 pi cos 3 omega ct. So I said I will not consider this particular term. So when I take a Fourier transform to this, it is the spectrum of m of t will be shifted by fc over here. For this particular component, m of t, the spectrum of m of t will be shifted by 3 fc. Okay. Now, so what is the equation I'll get? The equation is S of f is equal to, just give me 1 second. Yeah. So S of f is equal to, it is 4 by pi 1 by 2 I have. So we get a 2 by pi m of f minus fc plus m of f plus fc. That means m of t multiplied by cos omega ct will give you this particular equation. The first one. So this will give you the first equation, this first part. So m of t multiplied by 1 by 3 cos 3 omega ct again multiplied by 4 by 5, which is a common factor, which will give you this particular equation. That is, the spectrum of m of f is shifted by 3 fc in this case. So if I represent this graphically in the frequency domain, this is my original spectrum m of f, which extends between 0 to w hertz. The bandwidth of w hertz is a low pass signal. Okay. Now this particular component is represented over here. The same spectrum of m of f is shifted by fc. So this component is shifted by fc over here. Okay, so this particular term actually represents m of f is shifted by 3 fc. So at centered at 3 fc, I have a same spectrum of message component but shifted by 3 fc. Okay, so what I will do now is because I am interested only in the lower sideband and upper sideband centered around fc. So in my circuit also I have a tuning circuit where I select only the lower sideband and upper sideband. So what I will do is I design a band pass filter which has the frequency response something like this. Okay, so I pass this S of f component over that band pass filter with this particular narrow response. So what it does is it actually allows only on the negative side this is the component, on the positive side this is the component. Only this component will be allowed, and rest of the components like centered around 3 fc, or maybe for this particular component I may get a spectrum at somewhere here maybe 5 fc. All these components will be eliminated by the band pass filter and allows only this component in which I am interested. So I have shown a carrier as dotted line. That means in this case I don't have a carrier. There is no delta function for carrier. The carrier is anyway suppressed, and I get only either this lower sideband or maybe the upper sideband. Fine. So in this video, I explained how the ring modulator is basically actually used to generate two sidebands, upper sideband and lower sideband, and how we can eliminate the carrier. So I hope I understood this.